Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So, I decided to show you guys what the average welterweight weighs unofficially. What we call rehydration weight. And the reason why I want to do this is because I want to put in perspective the size of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Mayweather Marquez. We'll have some of the welterweights from 2015 all the way back, right? Errol Spence Jr. and Philo Greco. Errol Spence unofficially weighed 162 pounds. Philo Greco weighed 164 pounds. Saddam Ali versus Francisco Santana. Unofficially 153 was Ali. Santana was 167. Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson. Remember that? Well, Danny Garcia weighed 157 pounds. Lamont Peterson weighed 165 pounds. And just so you guys understand, this was a catch weight. This was at 143 pounds. These guys were both junior welterweights, right? And that's the kind of weight they come into the ring with. Let's keep it going. Adrian Broner versus John Molina. Adrian Broner weighed 157 pounds. John Molina weighed 154 pounds. Keith Thurman versus Robert Guerrero. Thurman weighed 162 pounds. Guerrero 152 pounds. Okay. Now understand, all the weights we've heard so far are heavier than Floyd Mayweather. About the lower limit that we've seen, Guerrero was weighed somewhat near Pacquiao's weight. His upper limit, and Marquez weighs less than that. Okay, let's keep it going. Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado. Rios weighed 163 pounds. Alvarado weighed 161 pounds. Right? Neither Floyd, Pacquiao, nor Marquez ever weighed that weight in the ring. Bradley versus Chavez. Bradley weighed 156. Chavez 154. Pacquiao versus Chris Algieri. Pacquiao was 149, Algieri 155. Now I'm going to say it again. Manny Pacquiao has never weighed 155 in the ring. He's never weighed 153 in the ring. The heaviest Manny Pacquiao has ever weighed in the ring is 152 pounds. Floyd Mayweather, he's never weighed more than 151 pounds in the ring. Never. Okay, so you realize these guys are on the lower spectrum of welterweight, right? Let's keep it going. Saddam Ali versus Luis Carlos Abrego. Abrego was 160, Ali was 150. Brandon Rios versus Diego Gabriel Chavez. Rios was 159, Chavez was 156. Marquez versus Alvarado. Marquez was 148, Alvarado 152. So you can see that Marquez is a small welterweight, right? He's almost near the welterweight limit. He only put on like 1 pound. Pacquiao versus Bradley, 151, Bradley 152. Pacquiao versus Brandon Rios. Pacquiao 150, Rios 159. Bradley versus Marquez. Bradley was 154, Marquez 150. Keith Thurman versus Diego Chavez. 156 is Thurman, Chavez 157.75. Marcos Maidana versus Josecito Lopez. Maidana was 156.5. Lopez was 158.75. Lucas Batista versus Lamont Peterson. Batista was 150. Peterson was 149. It was a catch weight. Timothy Bradley versus Manny Pacquiao. The first fight, Bradley was 147. Pacquiao was 150. Randall Bailey versus Mike Jones. Bailey was 155. Jones was 154. So you see, most welterweights are bigger than Pacquiao. They're bigger than Mayweather. They're bigger than Marquez, right? Floyd Mayweather versus Victor Ortiz. Mayweather was 150. Ortiz was 164. Andre Berto versus John Zabek. Berto was 160. Zabek was 159. Berto versus Freddie Hernandez. Berto was 159. Hernandez was 153. Victor Ortiz versus Vivian Harris. Ortiz was 155. Harris was 160. Andre Berto versus Carlos Quintana. Berto was 153.5. Quintana was 161. All of these weights are way above Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez's weights, right? Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Juan Manuel Marquez. Marquez was 148 pounds. Mayweather was somewhere between 146 and 150 pounds. Andre Berto versus Juan Urango. Berto was 155, Urango was 150. Shane Mosley versus Antonio Margarito. Mosley was 160, so was Margarito. Andre Berto versus Luis Collazo. Berto was 160, Collazo was 155. Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar De La Hoya. Pacquiao was 148.5, De La Hoya was 147. Which is very small. De La Hoya is very small for a welterweight, and this was the problem. See, De La Hoya is a dude that weighed 170 pounds coming into the ring against whoever, right? He wasn't putting on that kind of weight. Andre Berto versus Steve Forbes. Berto's 153.5, Forbes was 158. Joshua Clottey versus Zab Judah. Clottey was 156, Judah was 147. Significantly heavier than Judah. Andre Berto versus Miguel Angel Rodriguez. Berto was 162, Rodriguez 162. Berto versus Michael Trabant. Berto was 158, Trabant was 150. Berto versus David Estrada. Berto was 154, Estrada was 155. Paul Williams versus Antonio Margarito. Williams was 162, Margarito was 157. Shane Mosley versus Luis Collazo. Mosley was 154, Collazo was 160. Andre Berto versus Miguel Figueroa. Berto was 158, Figueroa was 153. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Carlos Manuel Baldomir. Mayweather was 149, Baldomir was 162. Ricky Hatton versus Luis Collazo. Hatton was 158, Collazo 156. You gotta understand, Ricky Hatton was bigger than Mayweather, bigger than Pacquiao, bigger than Marquez. Floyd Mayweather versus Zab Judah. Mayweather was 146, Judah 150. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Shamba Mitchell. Mayweather was 148, Mitchell 155. Oscar De La Hoya versus Daryl Coley. Oscar was 154, Coley 151. Felix Trinidad versus Pernell Whitaker. Trinidad was 155, Whitaker was 155. So even Whitaker was heavier than Floyd. You know what I mean? Pacquiao or Marquez, which is crazy because Whitaker was considered a small guy. So I just wanted to show you these figures because a lot of times people think that, you know, Floyd Mayweather, they say he's a bona fide welterweight. Mayweather never was a bona fide welterweight. He never was a true welterweight. A true welterweight goes anywhere between 154 and 165 pounds at welterweight. Shane Mosley's full-fledged welterweight. Berto was a full-fledged welterweight. Thurman's a full-fledged welterweight. All these guys, they average out at 160. Right? They can make the 147-pound weight limit because they're like 13 pounds off. And basically, you take 13 pounds off of your body, you take off the hydration. Basically, the water overhydrates you and you just rehydrate back up. So, Marcos Maidana, Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Adrian Broner, Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Timothy Bradley, you name it. Brandon Rios, Victor Ortiz, Mike Alvarado. All of these guys are much bigger than Pacquiao and Mayweather and Marquez. They're much bigger guys. Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Marquez, they would be considered, and even Terrence Crawford is heavier than they are. Okay, Terrence Crawford comes in 155, 154. He's heavier than they are on fight night. What I'm trying to tell you is these guys, they're not really welterweights, especially in this modern day sense. They're really junior welterweights. All of three of them that I just mentioned, but they're just so good that they managed to be at welterweight. And I wanted to make this point because the average welterweight weighs between 154 pounds and 165 pounds. Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao, and Juan Manuel Marquez have never made 154 pounds. Pacquiao fought at super welterweight as well as Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao fought with a catch weight. I think it was 152 pounds or 150 pounds, I can't remember. Mayweather fought at a catch weight of 152 pounds, and he also fought at 154. Fought 154 against Cotto, 152 against Canelo Alvarez. My point, anyway, is when Canelo rehydrated, when Cotto rehydrated, they rehydrated to, 165, which is really the weight at which the high end of welterweight is at. I think Keith Thurman, Cal Brook, those guys, Sean Porter, they're all in the 150s to the 160s, right? And my point is this. My point is that the bona fide real welterweights, because Max Kellerman talks about Floyd being a real welterweight and Manny Pacquiao is not. The truth be told, Floyd and Pacquiao, they barely make welterweight. They're more junior welterweights, especially in the modern sense of the word. And so is Marquez. Because they basically, some junior welterweights weigh more than they do. And just in case you guys don't know this, I'm going to actually go to the junior welterweight information. Should be on here somewhere. Light welterweight. So these are light welterweights right here. And I'm going to just show you. Victor Postol versus Lucas Matisse. Matisse is weighing the same weight as Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather and Marquez. In fact, Victor Postol himself, 148. That's more like the weight of Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez. Just so you would understand that they really are junior welterweights. Humberto Soto versus Antonio Orozco. Both of them weigh more than Pacquiao and Mayweather and Marquez ever weighed in their lives in the ring. They were 154 pounds, right? Adrian Broner versus John Molina. Adrian Broner weighs more than Floyd Mayweather. Adrian Broner is 157 pounds. John Molina weighs more than Floyd Mayweather, 154 pounds. More than Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez. Amir Imam versus Fidel Maldonado Jr. Amir Imam weighs the same weight as Manny Pacquiao, who faced Floyd Mayweather. Maldonado weighs more than Manny Pacquiao. I'm just showing you something. Mauricio Herrera versus Jose Benavidez. This was back in 2014. Benavidez weighs about the same weight as Mayweather and Pacquiao when they fought Algieri and Oscar De La Hoya, respectively. Herrera weighed more than Pacquiao and Mayweather and Marquez. None of them have ever even weighed that weight. Jesse Vargas versus Anton Novikov. Vargas weighed 148. Novikov weighed 157. Novikov weighed more than anything Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Marquez ever weighed, and Vargas actually averages the weight of Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez. Victor Postol, 148. Aiden, 148. Postol beats Selkirk Aiden. Excellent stuff. But they also weigh what Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez weigh on average. Ricardo Alvarez versus Rod Salka. Alvarez came in at 155.5, Salka 146.5. Well, Salka really is a lightweight, right? But the point is, what's very interesting about this is Alvarez weighs more than Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez. Provatnikov versus Mike Alvarado. Provatnikov comes in smaller than Alvarado. Alvarado weighs more than anybody that I just mentioned. More than Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez. 157. Provatnikov comes in 148. Provatnikov still knocks out Alvarado at the end of the day, which is impressive. Then we have Terrence Crawford versus Bredis Prescott. And guess what? Crawford weighs 150 pounds, which is basically Mayweather's weight, Pacquiao's weight, and Marquez's weight. Prescott weighs 157. You look at Lucas Matisse versus Mike Dallas Jr., right? Lucas Matisse, well, we know Mike Dallas Jr. is 151.5 pounds. Matisse weighs 163.5 pounds. Crazy, ain't it? It's just ridiculous, right? You look at Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado. Rios comes in 149 pounds, Alvarado 152. You'd swear that's Mayweather versus Pacquiao because those are the exact weights Mayweather and Pacquiao weighed. Mayweather weighed 149, Pacquiao weighed 152 when they fought one another. It's just crazy how that was a welterweight fight, but this fight you're looking at here is light welterweight. That's just nuts. That's why I told you guys, keep on giving you guys information. When Danny Garcia fought Amir Khan was weighing 148. Danny Garcia was weighing 150. Isn't that crazy? Danny Garcia basically was weighing the weight Mayweather and Pacquiao did when they faced super welterweights such as Oscar De La Hoya and or Canelo Alvarez and Pacquiao faced. I'm trying to remember. He was 150 when he faced. I think not Chris Algieri. He was 149 when he faced Chris Algieri. I can't remember when he was 150. But it was 150 when he faced some opponent. I can't remember who it was. It could have been Joshua Clottey. I can't remember. Danny Garcia versus Eric Morales won. Danny Garcia was weighing 152 pounds, which is what Pacquiao weighed against Mayweather, and Morales weighed 155 pounds. You look at Eric Morales versus Pablo Cesar Cano. Morales weighed 150, Cano 151. Even these super lightweights, also known as junior welterweights, light welterweights, even these guys have comparable weights to Pacquiao and Mayweather, and some of them are even heavier than them. Take, for instance, Amir Khan versus Zab Judah. 151, 150. That's some serious weight. Mayweather and Pacquiao didn't do that very often in their lives. Devin Alexander versus Lucas Matisse. Alexander comes in 151, Matisse 153. Timothy Bradley versus Devin Alexander. Bradley comes in 148, Alexander comes in 152. So by now you're getting what I'm saying. Khan versus Maidana, both 149 pounds. Alexander versus Kotelnik. One was 149, one was 148, as you can see. Maidana versus Victor Ko. Maidana comes in 149, Ko 150. Paulie Malignaggi versus Juan Diaz. Malignaggi is 149, Diaz is 145. Marcos Maidana versus Victor Ortiz. Maidana is 149, Ortiz is 152. The same Mayweather Pacquiao numbers. Ricky Hatton versus Paulie Malignaggi. Hatton's 152, Malignaggi's 149. Same Mayweather Pacquiao numbers. I just want you guys to see what I'm talking about. Ricky Hatton versus Jose Luis Castillo. Castillo's 153, Hatton's 149. Cotto versus DeMarcus Corley. Cotto's 157. Wow, it's a huge junior welterweight. And Corley's 140, which is the true junior welterweight or light welterweight weight. So Corley came in on weight, and Cotto came in 17 pounds over that. Mayweather versus Henry Bercellus. Mayweather was 142. Bercellus was 150. Yeah, 150. That's right. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus DeMarcus Corley. Mayweather comes in 145. Corley comes in 144. All right. So Costa Tszyu versus Dios Belis Hurtado. Tszyu was 157. Hurtado was 156. My point being this. Costa Tszyu was heavier than Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. And what we're talking about here is the junior welterweights, the light welterweights. So that's why I tell you guys over and over again, if you're really paying attention, Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Marquez, they're junior welterweights. It's just straight up facts. They'd fit into the junior welterweight division perfectly fine. Because even all the way back in the day when Costa Tszyu was around, in 1998, Costa Tszyu weighed 157 pounds. He would come in on the scales 140 pounds, and he'd balloon up 17 pounds over the official weight limit. Something Floyd Mayweather Jr. never did in his career. Manny Pacquiao, he was never that high. I think he fought Ricky Hatton in 2008 possibly, and Hatton had one weight, Pacquiao had one weight, you know what I mean? My point anyway is this. When you look at what a welterweight's supposed to weigh, these guys are not welterweights. Marquez, Pacquiao, Mayweather, they're not welterweights. They're junior welterweights. Their numbers fit into the junior welterweight division much better. They are not true welterweights. So anybody saying that Floyd Mayweather, he was a pure true welterweight, Max Kellerman likes to make that idea that Mayweather's a true welterweight. But his father was right, and some other people who both understand that Mayweather was never a welterweight. Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Marquez, they're never true welterweights. They're false welterweights. Keith Thurman actually talked about that they're not true welterweights. And it's true. They're very small guys. They just managed to fare very well again in the welterweight division because of their extreme skill and abilities. That's the reason. Pacquiao has ridiculous power for a junior welterweight, and Marquez the same thing. Mayweather, he got decent power, but not the power like Pacquiao and Marquez have. You know, even Marquez so much. Marquez got one punch knockout power. You saw him drop Alvarez, Mike Alvarado. Sorry, he dropped him like if he was, you know, a smoking piece of bake, man. And my point, anyway, is this: that these guys are not welterweights; they're junior welterweights. And it's really an extremely good accomplishment that all three of them, which max out at 152 pounds, at least for Pacquiao, that all three of them could fare so well in the welterweight division. It's amazing. It's really amazing. When Mayweather and Pacquiao, they pushed it to the next level and they went to super welterweight for a brief moment. Mayweather did it twice, I think. Pacquiao once. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. You guys have a great one.